I am Cody Lamb and this is my presentation on the northern river otter. The full name would be Animalia cordata mammalia carnivora mustelidae lontra canadensis, or in English, the northern river otter. Other acceptable names include North American river otter and North American otter. The northern river otter used to be combined with the European otter, but was separated into two species in 1987 by Zil de Jong or some similar pronunciation. These otters are easy to identify in the wild as they have long, muscular bodies with relatively short legs and a small head. They also have webbed toes and a long, flattened tail that makes up about 40% of their total length. Their fur ranges in color from gray to brown, with dense underfur covered by long, coarse guard hairs for repelling water. These are sometimes mistaken for beavers, but beavers have hairless tails that are much larger than an otter's. Not to mention beavers have a much larger body size in general. Northern river otters are found all throughout Canada and the United States. They can be found in every state and territory in both countries. The larger populations are around the Great Lakes and coastal areas, but inland sites with rivers and streams are widely used as well. These otters are literally found from the Aleutian Islands of Alaska to the Florida Keys and everywhere in between, as my spatially accurate depiction shows. They are also found in places as remote as Hawaii, but is a rather small population. Large populations of northern river otters require aquatic habitats such as coastal marshes, the Great Lakes region, and glaciated areas of New England. However, inland riparian areas are also widely used by smaller but viable populations as well. More specifically, these otters select lakes and rivers containing banked shorelines with burrows and cavities in the walls. They are also commonly found in waterways that are heavily dammed by beavers, as the resulting flood creates more usable space. Fewer otters are found in areas with gently sloped, sandy shorelines, and they also seem to stay away from rocky or mountainous streams. The diet of northern river otters mainly includes fish, so the streams with higher abundances of fish will contain more otters. They will also eat amphibians, crustaceans, and mollusks, but those are more opportunistic food sources. In the early 1900s, populations were heavily depleted throughout most of their historic range due to unregulated hunting. This impacted smaller streams inland more, as there are smaller populations there to start with. Also, water quality was of little concern, and growing industries began polluting riparian areas heavily, which directly impacted otter habitat. Reports concluded that otters were completely wiped out in 11 states and majorly threatened in 9 others. However, due to better water quality and fur bears management techniques, populations have risen to more than stable levels. Northern river otters now are in the least concerned category on the endangered species scale, meaning populations are doing great and do not need any special management. Not much is known about northern river otters' breeding habits, as it is difficult to study in the wild. As a result, there are varying opinions about when they mate and how they choose their mates. Some researchers say that they mate for life, while others say they mate with different otters each year. Likewise, for the breeding season, studies have said they could basically breed in the winter, late spring, or summer. The one thing researchers can agree on is the delayed implantation and gestation periods of these otters. They typically delay implantation for 9 to 11 months, but the gestation period is only 60 days, and otters are typically born in the months of March and April. Once again, little is known about behavior due to the difficulty of studying otters in the wild. However, a few of the more obvious behavioral characteristics have been observed. For example, females tend to build dens in the sides of riverbanks using old beaver lodges or hollow logs and meticulously clean them. When the young are born, they are completely helpless, and the females tend to push the males away during this period. Once the pups are weaned off the mother and ready to explore outside the den, the male is allowed back to assist in raising them. Once mature, these otters tend to stay in family groups throughout the summer and early fall.